Good morning. It's Tuesday, and Two Scoops is Tuesday things, and
Scoop.
this is Two Scoops Morning News with Dan and Craig, and I'm Dan.
I am Craig and Scoops and things.
Nice. Agreed.
You're watching Two Scoops Morning News with Dan and Craig, your sunrise reminder that things could get worse, so laugh at them while you still can.
Hey, Craig. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? Hey.
It's just Two Scoops Morning News.
Yeah, it's
with Dan
so
and
early
Craig.
that you didn't feel like turning your lights on this morning.
No, my lights are all torn down actually because I was doing a video shoot all weekend here at the house and I needed all the soft boxes and everything torn out of my office to do some green screen fun stuff, and now I'm just sitting here in the dark.
That's fine, except it's Tuesday and the weekend was like not yesterday or
Hey, don't get technical with me. The weekend was not that long ago. And what is your story? Because I'm still posting this. That's how prepared I am this morning.
wow. Well, as people should know by now, you made a guest appearance on my show last week.
I did.
And do you remember what we talked about? That's not what we talked about.
No, it was this Clinton thing. Why isn't it coming up? Why aren't you in your screen? Where are you? There you are.
What are
We're
you?
doing great.
What are
And where is your screen? Wait.
you got this? You got this.
There
man.
we go. There we go.
Why are you gonna find my screen? Because I wasn't sharing it.
Oh, that would do it. You like when it's these things that we do every now and then, or allegedly every Tuesday and Thursday, but really every now and then. That's the only time I use this other person sharing screen option, so I could forget every single time.
Look,
how
if
it even works.
I skip like one episode, like the next week, I have no idea what I'm doing. I literally have no fucking clue. I've been doing this for 3 years. If I skip one week, the next week I'm like, I
It's just
don't
trash.
know what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
It takes like 2 or 3 weeks to recover and remember how to podcast after you skip 1 week. I know that feeling. From the
So,
Washington Post, former White House official dies of injuries after jet turbulence.
Now, do you remember what we talked about last week when you came on my show?
Lots of stuff. Lots of mysterious deaths. Lots of people who have nothing in common with each other. No common denominators between a bunch of people that are just crazy suicidal.
Exactly. Except they had one thing in common. These weird, mysterious connections to the Clintons. And last night,
Oh, I totally missed that part.
yeah,
I missed that link.
you missed that in the whole episode. You did. You're like,
2 hours
why?
later, I'm like, why are we talking about all these suicides? Who cares?
I mean, this is really dark, but what's the point?
I mean, this is fun and all, but
Well, you had to leave early. We never got to the part that this guy's back to the Clintons.
right. And the final reveal. Up, I gotta go. Okay, well, we'll talk about that next week.
So this came across my screen last night, like late at night. It was probably like 10:30, 11 o'clock. It says former White House official dies of injuries after jet turbulence, and I'm like, no, couldn't be connected to the Clintons, could it? No,
No.
not their former White House official dying of jet turbulence. Jet
How
turbulence.
does somebody
Really?
die of jet turbulence? They just get shaken to death?
You know, there's a reason why they put on the stay seated and put your seatbelt signs on, apparently, and she is proof. She must not have been staying seated. Because it says
Wouldn't White House officials? Well, I guess she's a former White House official, so I was gonna say, wouldn't they be taking like private jets and things like that?
there's still turbulence on private jets. You realize that, right?
Yeah, but less because there's not all the people shaking it.
Oh,
I think that's how it works.
A former White House and an international development official died last week. Wow, I can't read this early. After the business jet she was flying in hit severe turbulence in New England, officials said Monday. Dana Hyde, 55, of Cabin John, Maryland, was flying with her husband and one of her sons on an aircraft owned by a rural broadband consulting firm, Connexon, which probably was owned by the Clinton Foundation. I'm guessing.
Probably.
Neither of her relatives nor the two members of the flight crew were injured, according to the company and the Federal Aviation Administration. Hyde was taken to a hospital in Hartford, Connecticut, after the
Bombardier.
Bombardier jet she's driving. Why are they on a Bombardier? Is
I-
that
That's
typical of a
that is a
business
good
trip?
question. It's a good question.
Heading for Keene, New Hampshire to Leesburg Executive Airport in Virginia, made an emergency landing, Connecticut State Police said. The incident is being investigated by the National Transportation Safety Board. Maybe it should be investigated by the FBI. The family members were returning Friday from a trip to visit schools in New England. Hyde's husband, Jonathan Chambers, said in an email to employees. Dana was the best person I ever knew. She was a wonderful mother to our boys, and she was accomplished professionally. She was loved
She
and
didn't like to be shaken a lot, it seemed
No.
like. I'm not sure why. She never liked bumpy car rides. I didn't get it. Now I know it's because her brain scrambles easily.
She has shaken baby syndrome for the first adult.
Shaken adult syndrome. Yes.
Yes, it's a new thing. SADS, shaken adult, not sudden adult syndrome, but shaken adult syndrome.
Right.
It says, in addition to probing what was initially described as a turbulence event, the NTSB said Monday its investigations are now looking at a reported trim issue
What does that
that
mean?
occurred prior to the in-flight upset. The agency didn't describe the nature of the reported issue, but trim generally refers to a plane's ability to maintain its altitude. So it's just like going, whoa, and like dipping, whoa,
And that killed her?
I guess. Says the plane suddenly convulsed in a manner that violently threw the three of us. My wife was badly injured. No shit. She died.
To death. Yes.
She was badly injured to the point
About as
of
badly as you can be injured, yeah.
So scrolling on down, I'm like, all right, I get all the brain scramble part. Don't care that much. But
Ouch.
then I get to here where it says Hyde was a White House special assistant during the Clinton years.
Come
Of
on.
course. Of course.
Come
she-
on.
Can we make this shit up?
Come on, man.
Yeah. No.
She was also a senior advisor at the State Department during Barack Obama's administration before becoming an associate director of the White House Office of Management and Budget. Earlier in her career, she was counsel on the 9/11 Commission, which
Wow.
investigated the nation's preparedness for September 11th, 2001 attacks. Yeah,
Wow.
so
Keep
she has all the
keep
reasons.
going. I'm already convinced that Hillary Clinton flew another, like a bigger jet just above this jet, and it had like mechanical arms that reached down, grabbed this plane, and just shook it until she died. But continue.
But yeah, then also 9/11 Commission connections, Barack Obama connections. She had a long-standing focus on international development and poverty issues during her years in Washington, including as chief executive of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, an independent U.S. agency that seeks to reduce global poverty. Hyde was seen as a brilliant and generous colleague,
Yeah, who
said.
cares? Do we know anything about like anything else about this, or is it still pretty fresh?
It's pretty
And-
fresh. Like this just popped yesterday, like last night.
This
And
just
then
popped.
It popped.
Her brain
popped.
just popped last
It
night.
literally popped.
Hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, March 6th at 7:28 p.m. is when this came out. So last night, late last, or what's today's date? Yeah, last night. So yeah,
It's one of those things where it's like on a surface level, you would be like, yeah, there's absolutely no foul play here. Obviously, there's just a freak accident, and that's crazy. And then you keep reading, and it's like, and the Clintons, okay, well, that's a little bit more suspect. And Obama, okay, well, that's a little bit more suspect. And she knew a bunch of things about 9/11 that probably they don't want you to know.
Yes.
Okay. Like, I don't know. Is it me, or are they like trying to make conspiracy theorists out of people?
I think so. Yes, I think that's exactly what's going on because that's exactly how it was. It's just like, oh, this former White House person died in a freak jet accident. It's like, and that kind of sounds like the Clintons. And you scroll down, it's like, shit,
And
it
it was
was.
the Clintons.
Like, damn it.
Yep.
Oh,
And I would
like,
have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for those dirty, rotten Clintons.
right.
Every time.
And people are just going to bed early lately, and I
Do you know
I
who
don't
else is
like
going to bed early lately?
who you.
Jared Fogle.
Jared Fogle is. I mean, he's taking a lot of naps. I've heard.
Yeah, he's really,
Kristen.
really taking a beating. Do you remember this man who lost 1 million pounds because he ate fast food that was a different brand than McDonald's?
I do. I definitely remember Jared, and I remember all the people that thought that they were going to also lose 1 million pounds by eating um
Fast
Subway.
food. Fast food that's not
Yeah,
McDonald's.
fast food that's not McDonald's. Overly processed bread that can't even be sold in like Great Britain because it
Is that
basically.
true?
Oh yeah, yeah. Subway's bread that they serve us here. Some countries in Europe won't serve it. They have to make it different because it's basically got the same ingredients as rubber tires in it or some crazy shit like that.
Yep, it's the healthy option. Yeah, you might lose some weight if you start going to Subway for every meal as opposed to McDonald's for every meal, like you were. But if you weren't already doing McDonald's for every meal, then Subway is not necessarily the health choice option that you think it is. Anyway,
No.
that's not
And
the point.
Jared is not a role model by any stretch.
Jared is not also in the best health, it would seem, because according to this is from who's SC? I don't know, but it's from Yahoo.com, so you know it's legit. Where is Jared from Subway now? He was beaten by a fellow inmate who hates child molesters while serving 15 years for sex crimes. It's
Look,
just a
you're
really
gonna-
it's a really really long headline, but I don't feel like you probably even had to say who hates child molesters because we all know why Jared from Subway got the shit kicked out of him in jail.
Jared likes little boys a little more than he likes Subway sandwiches. That's I
It
mean,
would
I'll
seem.
just say it. I'll throw it out there.
It would seem.
So first of all, the guy, he's a fucking creep. Second of all, if you're gonna dilly kids, you might as well kill yourself before you get caught because you're not gonna fare well in prison.
Right.
Because those guys, they might have really low standards, but they have some standards, and child molesters do not fare well in prison.
Yeah. I want to know like the story behind this guy, like how he became their spokesperson. You know, it wasn't the reason that they told us. So why was this fucking dork like the Subway spokesperson? He was fat once, now he's not fat. Is that all it took?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's literally it. It's like, well, we found this one fat guy who lost a bunch of weight and he comes to Subway a lot. Let's go with him. He's probably actually never had Subway. He probably was on some stupid diet. He's
Yeah.
probably the
He probably
son
wasn't even fat. It's probably photoshopped.
It's probably the son of some. It was a fat suit like oh, what's his name? The black dude from that does the voice of the donkey.
Eddie
on
Murphy.
Shrek. Yes, it's like an Eddie Murphy fat suit.
For 15 years, he was a fast food spokesperson turned pop culture icon. That's a little bit oversold. With a dark
Culture
secret.
icon.
Yeah, pop culture icon. Yeah, I mean, in a way, everybody knew his name, and he was popular for being that guy who's not fat anymore. And
Well, today you're popular for being fat. So I mean, these were old days. This was back in the day when you got popular for like shedding the fat, not getting popular like who's the Satan worshiper guy?
Sam
that-
Smith.
Yeah, who's popular now for not only being fat but also like
Craig, they are
now.
popular. In 2015, however, he fell from grace after becoming the subject of a Federal Bureau of Investigation probe that revealed him to be a pedophile. So, where is Jared Fogle from Subway today? Oh, he's getting the shit kicked out of him in jail. Born Jared Scott Fogle in August 1970. Who cares? He lost He lost 245 pounds between 1998 and 1999. In 1 year, he lost 245
No.
pounds.
No, just eating Subway sandwiches, absolutely freaking not.
It
No,
doesn't say that. It says having factored Subway sandwiches into his diet plan. So he had some Subway sandwiches sometimes, and he lost 245 pounds.
but
The
how
rest of it was
Subway
probably like a tummy tuck and like
Well, yeah.
liposuction and shit.
how Subway played this off was, yes, it was the Subway sandwiches, but they failed to mention that this happened in
In
literally
1
a
year.
1 year span.
Yes.
And I didn't realize. Did you realize he was only 20 at the time, 21, looking
No.
at those dates? Like,
No.
I never would have guessed that when he became popular for not being fat again, he was only 21 years old.
Right. He was subsequently hired by the chain to advertise its health merits and appeared in over 300 commercials during his time as the face of Subway restaurants. Using who cares? Where's Jared from Subway now? Where? So the headline: Where's Jared from Subway now? And it begins: Where's Jared from Subway now? He's serving time in federal prison for child sex crimes. It all began to unravel when blah blah blah. When Herman met Fogel, okay, he had leaned over and met me, and above a whisper, he leaned over and he said how he thought middle school girls were. A shocked Herman recalled to the New York Post, I knew what he said was exactly how he felt. I knew that there was something very sinister about this man behind the smile. Okay, do you know that much about this guy's crimes? Like, I'm not giving him any benefit of the doubt, really, but it just seemed all very strange that he came and went so rapidly. And
Well, yeah, he
we
did
we
come.
weren't digging into the framing people back then.
Here you go. It says a little more here. What
Is it-
of what he says about them, which is really freaking
Okay,
creepy.
yeah, I'm out. Children, quote, have such nice pure bodies, he once said to her. Will you let me see your kids? Okay.
Nobody just comes out and says that shit. I mean, no, I mean, even the most like Kevin Spacey's of people that think that they are just immune to everything because they
Right.
have been for so long. Don't just go up to a parent and be like, will you let me see your kid naked? No, they send somebody in to be like, hey, Kevin Spacey has a request for you, and wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah,
And
Michael Jackson wants to take your kid on a weekend getaway for the next 5 years. That's the type of subtle behavior that these people tend
Yeah.
to use, not just, hey, those are some nice kids. Can I look at them?
Yeah, it's not like Jared was like in the inner circle of the most protected Bill Cosbys out there. I'm throwing out so many names so I can get sued by so many people right now. Like he was Jared from Subway. Yes, he was a quote unquote pop icon, but was he really in that inner circle where he could literally just walk on the streets and be like, "Hey, bro, I like little kids. Can I see yours naked?"
Mm.
And just expect everything will be just fine. And it's a taped exchange too. Like somebody just happened to be strapped with a wire at the same time that Jared was
So do you
like,
think Jared was set up, Craig? Is that what you're saying?
"No, I think this whole thing is a scam.
In
This
what
didn't
way?
happen. This did not happen. There is no freaking way if this did happen, Jared is a freaking idiot and deserves every bit of the beatdown that he got, even if he didn't
Oh, yeah.
touch little kids."
Yes, if you said the things, that's enough for me to be like, yeah, go ahead and beat him up, because even if he wasn't caught doing the things, clearly he was, doing things. But yes, audio reveals Fogel also talking about a sexual encounter he had with a little boy in Thailand. Quote, it was amazing. Oh, it was so hot, baby. It was so effing hot, Fogel recalled. That's how
There's-
people speak. I
there's-
don't know.
There's no way. This can't be real.
I
Like I knew things happened, and I knew he was a creep. But no fast food spokesperson can think they're this untouchable.
He then asked Herman, would you rather have a little boy or a little girl pleasure you? I don't know. I'm going off the assumption that this guy is guilty as shit, and if that is the case, he's just an idiot. Like, this does sound like something that you would that an idiot would write if they were trying to frame somebody. I don't know. It's like almost too bad to even be fake, because if you were going to write something, you would write something better than, oh yeah, that hot kid, guys. Yeah, let me look at your kid. Like
Maybe all the
maybe
like
he's just retarded.
overly processed chemicals in the subway got to his brain at some point, and he just like lost his filter.
Who knows? I mean, it could be that this guy went from just some dork, some overweight dork, to being like celebrity status where everybody recognizes him for being the dork on TV that sells crappy sandwiches. And that power went to his head. I don't know. But for the next 4 years, Herman would surreptitiously record conversations between herself and Fogel. So this was going on for a while. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I don't know how much of this we actually need to read. He got beat up in prison, and it's hard to not say good, but because good, if he is guilty at all, if he's guilty of even saying these things confidently out of his mouth, then fine, beat him up.
Apparently, they claim he has a medical problem, and that's why he's such a freaking freak of nature. But he is being seen by a world-class psychiatrist.
Where are you seeing this?
The paragraph right in front of your screen.
I'm okay. Yes, good job. Fogel's lawyer, Jeremy Margolis, said after court that his client has a medical problem and has already been seen by a, quote, world-class psychiatrist. He knows that restitution can't undo the damage that he's done, but he will do what he can, Margolis said. Jared Fogel expects to go to prison. What? He will do his time. He expects. So this is old stuff that they're talking.
Yeah, this is just after.
I totally read this article before coming on live to talk about it. As you can tell.
Okay, the punching part is like the next paragraph down.
Indeed. The former face of Subway was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in Colorado prison, probably not long enough, and agreed to pay each of his victims $14,000 in restitution. His project.
That's not very much.
No.
That's not at all for a case like this. Like 14.
I mean, we're not talking like Alex Jones money or anything here. We're talking Jared Fogel money. No matter how much of the spokesperson you are, how much do you think Jared was making salary from Subway?
I don't know. I
mean,
look it up.
It was like 200 commercials or something over the span of a few years. I don't know. That's not that much work, and he would have probably taken whatever deal they gave him, because it's not like he was transitioning. It's not like he was a celebrity coming in to be the celebrity spokesperson. He gained his celebrity from nothing to Subway guy.
His net worth in 2013 was $15 million. So not a ton for celebrity status, but a lot more than I'm worth.
Yeah. How many victims did he had? Do you know? Did you read it while I was scrolling? By chance?
I didn't.
2 years into his sentence in January 2017, Fogel was reportedly beaten by a fellow inmate, Stephen Niggs. Or Nig. Just Nig. That's his name, guys. That's his name. Don't hold it against me. Craig, out of curiosity, what ethnic persuasion do you think Stephen Nig was?
Asian. Absolutely Asian.
Probably. Who pushed the disgraced spokesperson down and, quote, unloaded a barrage of punches to his face. God bless you, Stephen Nig.
The real story is Jared called Stephen his nig, and he got punched in the
What
face.
up, my Nig? Yeah, he heard everybody else calling him Nig, and he thought that they were saying something else and just went with it, trying to fit in, trying to be safe. Quote, he had to hit him. That's how the whole thing started. I don't know what that means. Nig's brother Jimmy told people, Jimmy Nig told people at the time, okay, quote, he just can't be around child molesters. He doesn't like them. He continued that Stephen, quote, can't figure out why you would do that to kids. Jimmy continued, he says, I can't be around these people. So that is the story right there. Like, this whole thing was giving the backstory of why you should like, this guy got the shit kicked out of him, but it's fine because here's all the reasons. And the last paragraph is like, he walked up to Stephen Nig and Steven
this
doesn't like child molesters, it turns out.
sounds so much like a bad episode of Law and Order SVU, like the victims
And then I
unit.
said, I don't like people who touch kids. So I punched him. Oh, you punched him? Why? Because I don't like people who touch kids.
I can't be around those people.
And my bro Joey Nig came in.
First
He
of all,
gave
we
him
have
the what
we have
for?
the flashback to Jared. It's like the kind of blurry, out of focus flashback, and it's like, I really like little kids. They're so hot. Can I
Well-
see yours naked? And then the police swarm in and like take him down. And Ice-T is like, "We got you now, mother." I
Mhm.
guess they don't say that. And then they throw him in, and then Stephen Niggs, obviously Stephen Niggs,
It's Nig.
Nig. Oh my bad. It's like, I don't like child molesters. I can't be around them.
It is like bad script writing. So why'd you beat up the child molester? Because I don't like him. Oh, all
I
right.
can't be around them.
don't like the way they molest children. That
And
makes
then
sense.
then they cut back to the weird office drama of like some stupid relationship in the office that doesn't apply to the
Back
script.
at the subway office, Janet and Steve, who have nothing to do with this story, but
Not Steve Niggs, the other Steve.
right, different Steve.
Yes.
Well,
Do you think Jared deserved to get his face beat?
most likely, yeah.
Was
I
justice
mean,
served?
either Jared deserved to get his face beat, or Jared doesn't deserve to be in jail because he was framed. I lean towards not being a conspiracy theorist on this one. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know enough about it to confidently argue the devil's advocate in this one because I don't know. I don't know.
It's
And those quotes, if he said those quotes, that's enough for me. That's enough.
Yes. It's hard to think that Jared would know too much that he would be framed for something. I mean,
Right.
as the subway spokesman, like, what's he close to?
Right.
Like,
He's not like
I-
Cosby
I would-
or Michael Jackson status or anything like
Yes,
that.
how would he be on somebody's list that it's like, this guy, we got to shut this guy up. He's got to go to prison, and I got my boy, Mr. Nig in prison that he'll handle it.
He'll
for
never
us.
believe this one. Yeah, and I don't know, like it doesn't make sense for him to be framed because he wasn't major celebrity status, and also like what did he have like a 10-year contract and Subway just couldn't figure out the way to get out of their contract with this diabolical Mr. Fogel who's just a dork with glasses who lost some weight and eats Subway. Like, I don't know. Yeah, this guy, I lean towards this guy certainly probably got everything that not quite everything that he had coming to him, but everything that he got, he had coming to him, and he probably has more coming to him if it is what it sounds like.
Hector Roos makes a point here that is almost the most believable point. First, he says, Nick's brother Jimmy. That sounds like a barbecue sauce or an epithet. Then he says, did an AI make up that name? Come to think of it, this sounds like an entire story made up by AI. Like the really cheap AI that's like, hey, make up a story about a child molester fast food guy that gets beat up in prison.
That's true.
By a black guy. And obviously the AI comes up with the black guy's name as Stephen Nig and comes
make
up
him
with
like an everyday, like an every man's man, just like somebody that everybody can relate to, a guy, just your normal average guy. Generate. All right, there we go. Good job. We did it.
And then make up a story, make up a dialogue about how he likes kids. And it's like, I like kids. I want to see them naked. Make up a dialogue about a guy that wants to beat up child molesters. I don't like child molesters. I can't be around them.
That's true. Now make up a scene where the guy is recorded saying some very salacious things about children. Guy walks into a room with lady who happens to have a recording on her. I like your kids. Can I watch your kids naked?
I mean, I think we've uncovered the real story. This whole story is AI generated.
I think Jared Fogle is kind of robotic himself. Is Jared Fogle even real?
Probably not. No.
Is he just like a fat robot that they took some parts off of?
We don't need this part.
Hopefully, they took more parts off of him after he got accused of pedophilia.
That's true. What did he need the
We'll
fat
just
parts
take that.
to
You
get?
don't need that anymore. Don't need these hands, and you should be safe. Good luck.
Yes. And then somebody beat up the robot.
The handless, dickless robot in prison. Yes.
Yes.
Well, this has gotten a little out of hand. Point
Twist.
being, Jared got beaten up, and that's the news.
And there's another addition to the Clinton body count, not Jared Folk. Maybe Jared knew the
What did
Clinton.
Jared know
Do you
that
think
would lead
Jared
to the
was
arrest
on
of
that
Hillary Clinton? I mean, it's possible. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he fits the bill other than he's not,
super celebrity? Yeah,
Right.
status?
other than he's not cool in real life.
That's true.
Yeah.
Seriously, is Jared Fogle a stage name? Says Hector Roos. Most likely. I mean, I don't know.
Derek Ambrose says that or Jared is an android. I'm not sure if that was you saying that before I said that or after it. If it was after it, then yes. Thank you for stealing my joke.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Got anything else?
No. That's all I got.
Well, this has been something. We won't be here on Thursday because I'll be in getting ready to go to North Carolina. I guess I won't be leaving till Friday morning. We'll see if Thursday happens, but probably not.
Are you taking me to North Carolina?
You want to come?
I do.
Yeah, just grab some tickets and I'll pay your way.
After I buy the tickets, you'll
Yeah.
pay my way.
Yep. I'll
All
pay
right.
for whatever's left of the flight after you get your tickets.
Am I going to get bounced around in the cab because of turbulence?
You might get shaken up. Depends. How much do you know about Hillary Clinton?
After the last 2 weeks, I know a little more than I did before.
Then I don't know if I want you with me on the same flight. I'll get you a nice Spirit Airlines that comes after.
Okay, fair enough.
Craig, where can people find you and your exposing of the Clintons' body count that will leave you suicidal any day now?
They can find all the self-exposure that I do on my website at www.breakthebellpod.com. I expose so much. For a couple extra
As
dollars,
much as Jared Fogle?
I'll expose even more for a few extra dollars if you join our Patreon membership. Otherwise,
Nice.
you can find me all over social media at Break the Bell Pod. Check out my podcast, the Break the Bell Podcast.
And you can find me at thesystemsdown.tv or wherever the Systems Downs are sold, specifically and most notably on Twitter at TSIDpod. And you can find me on Craig's show, Break the Bell Podcast, from last week, I think it was. I don't know. Time has no meaning. But we talked a lot, as we've said, about the Clinton body count and all the specifics on that. So go check that out, too. But this has been Two Scoops.
It has.
Hector asks, does Craig fit in Dan's carry-on luggage?
I can try.
This has been Two Scoops Morning News every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. Central or whenever we feel like it. Until next time, hang in there, America.